Hello, a very good evening to you, viewers out there. Welcome to Fawzan Harun channel, and today we are going to start the show by asking a critical question. A critical question, for that matter, a critical question of much importance to the world at large. What do I mean by a critical question? What I mean is the topic for this episode is there a vaccine for the COVID-19 or the coronavirus outbreak that is currently lashing the world at large? Is there a vaccine for the coronavirus disease? That is the question this presentation will attempt to answer in the course of my line of analysis in today's show. Please do well to subscribe to the channel as well as share the program, as I always urge you to do. And I've always been telling you this is the winning team, and you have to join before it is too late for you. In today's segment, we are going to look at the reason why I've carefully selected this topic is that across the world, there's so many news on so many platforms which seeks to give an indication that vaccine has been achieved, or we've gotten a vaccine for the coronavirus outbreak. And so this presentation will try to answer that question for that matter. And I will give you one critical source which will try to explain the processes I'm going to analyze in summary. Because if I'm to take you through all the scientific processes, the program is not going to end within the few minutes that I would like to do. I have a special reason why I would like this presentation to be short, so that you can easily understand. It wouldn't be engage you with so much minutes on one video. There will be possibly, if there need be, this video, there could be part 2 of it or part 3 subsequently, but necessarily this is the first one, and I wouldn't want to label it part 1 or so. This first one, just take it like that. If need be, there will be second one possibly. And the reason why I'm delving into this much issue is that there's an article which was written recently. I think today is the 19th March. Time check is 9:58 p.m. Doha time. Time check currently in my studio, and then 6:58 p.m. Ghana time, and then 7:58 p.m. I think Nigeria time, UK time 6:58 p.m. So I'll try to please subscribe to the show as well as touch the notification pad. And there is this article by Emily R. Siegel of NBC or online web or news portal, online website portal, that you have to later go and read appropriately after the show. That's so many researches that I've done. That one research seeks to indicate the summary of the processes altogether. Normally, when the article is entitled, "Here are 3 drugs in development to fight coronavirus, 2 vaccines, and 1 passive vaccine." So, okay, let me go through the process entirely altogether. Currently, across the world, we've seen so much improvement in the fight against the coronavirus. As you are all aware, even China today have not recorded any cases, 0 case for that matter. China is the only positive news that we are celebrating as at now. Still, there are challenges confronting Italy, Iran, Spain, France, and so many other countries as well, even the United States of America. The record and number of cases is getting worse day in, day out. If you are well abreast with the news across the world, you could just recently, there's a German laboratory which has developed a vaccine candidate and will go on trial in June June, July, August possibly, the vaccine candidate will go on trial. I'm saying vaccine candidate because for us to achieve a vaccine, it has to pass through many stages. That's the popular ones are the 3 phases that it has to pass: first phase, second phase, and third phase. Just like when you are conducting an election, we have presidential candidates. The presidential candidate has to pass through the president. For somebody to become president, he has to pass through the presidential candidate, the campaigning, the filing of forms, and all other matters. We are not discussing politics. In the same way, in scientific processes of vaccine development, the vaccine, for vaccine to be achieved, it takes these 3 phases. First, the vaccine has to be a vaccine candidate, and so all those news and all those information that is currently going on across the world are all vaccine candidates. No laboratory has come out with a vaccine. Take it from me here on Fauzan Harun channel. Currently, no laboratory has successfully come out with a vaccine. All are vaccine candidates. And so let me take this opportunity before I continue to caution viewers out there that this is not the time for you to listen to the politicians. The politicians, most of them don't know much about science. Talk about President Donald Trump, fine, he's the president of the powerful country of the world. But in terms of science, he doesn't know that much into vaccine development. And so even some of the news when he was trying to address his press conference, trying to create the impression that a vaccine is almost there. They've almost achieved a vaccine. No, it's not entirely true. Listen to this guy and Dr. Anthony Fauci, the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease in the United States of America. Those are the guys that you have to listen to. They know much about science and vaccine development. And these vaccine development are the job of what? The biologists. I'm a chemist. Fine. That's why I'm not saying I'm giving you detail. I have my limitation with respect to knowledge of vaccine and vaccine candidates and vaccine development. And so those guys that will give you accurate information are the biologists. Right, the biologists, they are doing the research in terms of virology, epidemiology. Those in the epidemiology department, they are the right persons that you have to listen to, not the likes of President Donald Trump and the likes. They are the politicians. Boris Johnson, Macron, they are the politicians and the likes. Listen to the scientists. So this is the time for you to listen to the scientists. And in the sciences too, the branches are equally well divided, subdivided. We have the biologists, the physicists, and the chemists. I'm the chemist, all right, I know. But the biologists are doing the research. So because of the hula baloo of people going around to say that we've developed vaccine here and there, that's why I'm coming up with this program to critically address the reason why I'm saying a vaccine has not been developed yet. All those that have come up are vaccine candidates. First, then let me acknowledge the work of some of these laboratories. We have one laboratory, Kaiser Washington Health Research Institute in Seattle, United States of America. They are also testing their vaccine in the first stage. Their testing is in the animals, mice, and other few small animals. And first, a preliminary test has proved successful. And they will go ahead to test in humans. And let me make it clear. For a virus to be developed, it has to take, for an effective vaccine to be developed, it has to take from 12 to 18 months for an effective vaccine to develop. And so after it has passed through all these 3 phases, and the phases before approval by the FDA, Federal Drugs Administration, the FDA, Federal Drugs Administration. In Ghana, we call it the FDA, Food and Drugs Authority. So it has to finally pass through that stage. And that stage is not our problem right now. The problem is what? The vaccine candidates that they are running tests on to try to make it a vaccine. Also, there's another laboratory, San Diego Laboratory. They even came out with an information that they've developed a vaccine in 3 hours. And up till now, we are waiting for them to come and confirm the authenticity of the trials that they've carried out. And up till now, they are quiet. Hence, it will take time, I know. So they have to take time and do it effectively. And there's also a German laboratory which is doing a great job with respect to this. And even there was a rumors that President Donald Trump went to even bought the firm so that they will come to the United States to do work. Both the firm and the office of the White House, Oval Office, have denied those allegations for that matter. And also, another critical area of importance worthy of us to know is that when you look at the symptoms of the COVID-19, the coronavirus, you can see that the symptoms are the normal symptoms that we know. Fever, feverish, your body will become hot, fever, also sore throat, sneezing, coughing, and then difficulty in breathing. And when you look at all these symptoms, they have drugs that we've been using to treat them. In terms of when you look at the fever and all those conditions, they have drugs, fever, sneezing and all those. We have chloroquine, we have ibuprofen, we have chloroquine, ibuprofen, Procode, and their likes. There are so many drugs that we use to treat this condition. And so somebody asked a question recently in one of my private platforms, WhatsApp platforms, that if those that are said to have recovered from the COVID-19 diseases, what drugs was used was administered on them to recover from those the infection that they had from the COVID-19? And I answered the person by saying that all those symptoms that you see, there are drugs that treat them, and so those are the existing drugs that are currently in use to treat those that have recovered. And those, unfortunately, that have not recovered, have not responded positively. Their immune system has not responded positively by this administering of these current drugs. And so ongoing treatment is done using these drugs, the chloroquine, Procode, ibuprofen, Panadol, and all those drugs that you know are used for treating malaria that you know. Those drugs are used for that, the treatment and effectively of that matter. And one positive news is that 103-year-old Chinese woman and 103-year-old Iranian woman, Islamic Republic of Iranian woman, recently recovered from the virus. Fortunately for them, they've been able to defeat the virus. Hitherto, you can see that those that are old find it difficult to defeat the virus. But in Iran and China, we've gotten a record. Someone has broken the record. That 103-year-old person has survived from the virus. And so we look at the first phase of the treatment of the COVID-19. In the first phase of the vaccine candidate, they will use it on animals. And when it's successful, it takes a minimum of 6 weeks. They will bring it to test in healthy human beings. They will test it, they will give them the dose, the injection from the first day, and also give them at the interval on the 29th day of that month of test. And then they will see the responses on those kinds of human beings. And so many processes that will occur. It will come to a process, possibly they will try to test it on different kinds of human beings, be it the black people, the white race, as well as the mixed race, right? Those mixture of black and white, to see its effectiveness and how their immune system will develop antibodies to fight effectively and destroy the pathogenic viruses that comes with the COVID-19. And so, without much ado, I would like to end here by telling you that all those processes that are currently ongoing are vaccine candidates. They've not attained the stage to become what? Vaccine. And also be careful of listening to politicians in this critical period of time, because they are doing politics to win elections. And so listen to the scientists. It's just like you know that 2 + 2 is 4, and a politician will come and tell you 2 + 2 is 5. Just because you support him, you turn around and shout and hail him, hey, he's done well. No, this is not the kind of joke that we're trying to acknowledge. I do respect them for that matter, but in this critical point in time, listen to the scientists, the likes of Dr. Anthony Fauci, and all those scientists, the professors of epidemiology and the likes. I would end this show by thanking you for spending much time to engage me on this channel. Do subscribe to the show and send in your comments. I think the comment section has been activated. I will be very much happy to read from you and answer accordingly. Thanks very much for spending your golden opportunity to engage me on this show. God richly bless you. Thank you. I salute. Cheers. May God Almighty help us to defeat this deadly COVID-19 disease.